Welcome back. In this video, I'll show you how to wheelie, so let's get into it. Before you start, the first thing you want to do is raise your seat. And the next thing you want to make sure is that your rear brake works, because that will come in handy later. Another thing I'll mention is having flat pedals is a lot easier compared to being clipped in, just because it makes it much more easy to bail off the back if you need to. So when it comes to choosing gears, I like to go a medium gear. So I've got a 12-speed cassette, and I recommend going between gear 3 and gear 6 depending on what speed you're doing. So the first thing we want to practice is moving our weight sort of from more of a central point, if not a little bit forward, with your arm slightly bent, to then moving your weight back, sort of more so over the back wheel. So it should look like this. So I'm starting with my arms slightly bent, and then I'm explosively pushing them back and locking them out, while also looking up ahead to where I'm going. Just like that. So now once we feel comfortable with shifting our weight back over the rear wheel, we're going to implement a crank, so one strong pedal, just to help lift the front wheel into the air. So covering your rear brake is very important when it comes to control. It stops you from looping out over the back of the bike. So that's what happens when I don't cover the brakes. So now I'm just going to cover the brakes just by feathering them, just only very lightly and gently, just so I don't loop back and fall backwards onto my back. Just feathering my brakes. And also when you're learning a wheelie, try and find somewhere with a slight hill, just so you can contain your speed a little bit easier and don't go rolling away. So once you've learned how to actually pop a wheelie, the next thing you want to do is control the wheelie. Obviously you don't want to go too far back and loop out over the back of the bike, but you also want to be able to hold that wheelie up and not just come straight back down. So if you want to, obviously if you feel like you're falling backwards, just sort of drag your back brake, and that will slowly bring the front wheel down. If you feel like you're going to come and touch the ground, just crank harder on the pedals, and that will bring the front of the bike back up. And really, you're trying to just balance on this back axle. So between cranking and using a back brake, just find like a little balance point there, and then it'll take some time, but you'll find it, and yeah, you'll definitely get used to it. And it makes things a lot easier once you find that balance point. So I'm just going to find that back balance point. Now that I've found it, I'm just going to use my brakes and pedals to stay on that balance point. So when it comes to balancing left and right, there's a few things you can do. So the first thing you can do is use your knees. If you feel like you're falling to the left, you can stick your right knee out to bring the bike back straight, vice versa. If you feel like you're falling to the right, you can stick your left knee out to bring the bike back straight. The second thing you can do is use your bars and turn. So if you feel like you're going to the left, you can turn right, and that should straighten out the bike. Same thing when you're going to the right, you can turn left, straighten the bike back out again. Another thing you can do, which you should do anyway, is to look where you want to go. So look up ahead, don't look at the front wheel, look up ahead to where you want to go. Now another quick tip that I found helped when learning how to wheelie is having more air in your back tyre than you usually do. That just makes the tyre stay in one spot and doesn't roll around on the rim. So learning a wheelie isn't an overnight thing. It does take practice and time, and after a while you'll notice you're getting better and better at wheeling, and you can hold the front wheel up in the air for much longer. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you've got any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Cheers.